Mercedes driver George Russell says that rival Red Bull already has the World Championship sewn up after one race, with the Brit expecting the energy drink squad to win all remaining events. Red Bull dominated Bahrain on Sunday, with reigning world champion Max Verstappen untouchable out front, and Aston Martin runner-up, not Ferrari or Mercedes, albeit with third-placed Fernando Alonso over 38 seconds adrift, a lifetime in F1. But while the Silver Arrows have since gone back to the drawing board with their W14 and zero-pod concept, Russell says Red Bull's advantage won't be overhauled by any of its rivals. "I expect they should win every single race this season," he said. "That's my bet. With the performance they've got, I don't see anyone challenging them." Bahrain was a nightmare for Alpine's Esteban Ocon, with the young gun handed 3 separate penalties during the race before he was forced to retire on lap 41 with a mechanical issue. Ocon was originally penalized 5 seconds for being too far forward in his grid slot, but earned an additional 10 seconds after his mechanics didn't wait the full time before working on his car. The Frenchman scored his 3rd penalty speeding in the pit lane, with his A523 clocked at 80.1 kilometers per hour, 0.1 over the limit. The trio of transgressions equals the record set by Pastor Maldonado at the 2015 Hungarian Grand Prix for Lotus. But Ocon says there's much to look forward to in the races ahead. "We were fast like the Ferrari in that last stint. That could be very encouraging," he said. Ocon's teammate Pierre Gasly started from last on the grid after his best time in Q1 was deleted for a track limits infringement. But for the second time in his F1 career fought back to the points, this time to 9th. AlphaTauri team principal Franz Tost has put persistent rumors to bed that the F1 squad could be sold, following clarification from new Red Bull top management. Reports in the German media last month said the brand was considering selling the team if cost savings couldn't be found from plans to move its base to the UK, after it lost significant income from finishing 9th in the constructors' standings last year. But Tost was able to shut down rumors after a chat with Oliver Mitzlaff, Red Bull's CEO of corporate projects and new investment. "I had some very good meetings with Oliver Mitzlaff, who confirmed that the shareholders will not sell Scuderia AlphaTauri, and that Red Bull will continue supporting the team in the future," he said. Charles Leclerc says second in the F1 World Championship isn't enough for him or Ferrari, forcing the squad to be brutally honest in the aftermath of a shambolic 2022. Leclerc was in command of the standings after Australia last year, with a huge 46-point lead over Red Bull's Max Verstappen. But the campaign fell apart with mistakes that have since been analyzed, said the Monegasque to F1's official podcast Beyond the Grid.
Being second wasn't enough for the whole team, and even though the 2 years prior that were very difficult 2 years. So I think it was a really big step forward, not enough to win the World Championship, and that's why we've been very self-critical at the end of the year and tried to improve in all the areas that we could.
Leclerc was third in Bahrain until lap 41, when an electrical problem forced him to retire. He admitted that while it wasn't the best start to his season, the squad was working flat out to be ready for Jeddah. Haas driver Kevin Magnussen has reflected on his surprise maiden pole position in Brazil last year, stating it definitely ticked a box for him, and now he just wants to do more. Magnussen was the star of a wet Brazilian qualifying, and while the Dane led the field out onto the slippery track in Q3, he didn't hold back to go P1 before deteriorating conditions sealed the stat.
Just ticking off those boxes is kind of what the dream is, and pole position was ticked off last year, so now I need a race win and then a championship. It's easy.
The Dane finished 13th in Bahrain on Sunday, 2 places ahead of new Haas teammate Nico Hülkenberg. F1's return to Melbourne is just a few weeks away now, but 2023's edition is set to be even more historic as the 70th anniversary of the Australian Grand Prix at Albert Park. The race was first held in 1953, with 40 drivers taking on the 64-lap race, though it was not part of the World Championship, with Doug Whitefoot claiming the win in his Talbot Lago. Albert Park again hosted the race in Melbourne's Olympic year of 1956, but it took another 40 years for the Grand Prix to return, and this time as part of the F1 World Championship. With the event now guaranteed to stay in Melbourne until 2037 on the back of a refreshed track and interest in the Melbourne race.
You can't compare the circuit today as it was in the 50s. The types of cars, the safety, it went in the other direction. It was completely a completely different scene in those days.
Aston Martin had some updates in Bahrain, with Lance Stroll returning to service while recovering from 2 broken wrists and a broken toe sustained in a cycling accident in Spain. But it also introduced a new FIA medical car in the DBX 707, the world's fastest SUV that is capable of 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3.3 seconds and a top speed of 310 kilometers per hour. The DBX 707 is powered by an AMG-sourced 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine, features a 9-speed wet-clutch automatic transmission, and has an output of 697 brake horsepower. The FIA medical car version features tweaked suspension and different exhaust, along with race-spec outfit and safety kit. F1 has widened its search for its next generation of fans, this time via the world of football and a new 15-year partnership with top English Premier League team Tottenham Hotspur. The new deal will not just see construction of the world's first in-stadium electric karting facility, featuring London's longest indoor track where future national karting races can be run, but for F1 and the Spurs to work together on sustainability initiatives that promote environmental responsibility. For the stadium, it's seen as another offering to fans beyond just football, but for F1, the benefit of the club's global reach is clear.
When you add up all the different audiences that we attract and speak to, that is just under 80% of the world's population. Almost 5.9 billion people are interested in events that happen here in Tottenham.
W Series rival F1 Academy has boosted its management, with news that former Williams test driver Susie Wolff has joined as managing director. The new for 2023 female-only academy, which has been founded by F1, will see 5 teams field 3 cars each for a grid of 15 drivers. Running F4 spec cars, the 5 teams are all established junior runners, with a 7-round calendar, including an F1 support at its final round at the United States Grand Prix at Austin in October. And Wolff, who founded the pro-female Dare to be Different initiative in motorsport and is the former CEO of the Venturi squad in Formula E, is excited to create real change in the sport. There is a lot of work to be done, but there is also a clear determination to get this right, Wolff said. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.